one of the things Berdyaev talks about in what book is it? I can't remember which book. Um, he talks about the Middle Ages, the kind of two models, and for
Okay.
men, the monk
Hmm.
and the knight. It kind of struck me that really the Ortho Bros are really in King's North. They basically want to turn the world into a monastery.
Okay. Yeah.
They want to retreat from the world.
Yeah.
Where the knight, at least in the archetypal sense, um, was not one who retreats from the world, but who engages the world. And what's the
So it's a new knighthood of the Sophia, type
well,
of thing.
yeah, I think so because when they would dub a knight in the Middle Ages, they gave him, they dubbed him in the name of God, Saint Michael, and Saint George, and gave him the right to bear arms and to meet justice,
Hmm.
right? And I think this is we were talking earlier today about these guys who are attracted to all these OnlyFans girls who are making them millionaires. They're kind of perverse monks.
Yeah. Right. Or
They're not
hikikomori.
knights.
Hikikomori, they call them in Japan, like these hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people who renounce everything, and they just go into an apartment, order from like Grubhub, and have plastic dolls and play video
Yeah,
games all day. They never leave their apartment. It's so
they're
sad.
they're
It's so
yeah, they're
sad.
perverted monks.
Yeah.
They're It's a weird kind of incel thing, right?
Yeah.
Whereas and I was asking myself when I said, well, where's the knighthood in our culture? Now it doesn't
Yeah.
exist.
Step into your own royal clothes. But when you picture royal, picture a tunic more than mink ermine. The knight is for sacrifice, not for combat. The knighthood is for sacrifice. The clothing is quite different. The war is within ourselves. Let's use the word sin and reform ourselves so that we can reform the world. Let's not avoid, the new knighthood will not avoid, which piety, excessive piety can do, the inner journey that gets you to the inner darkness and leaves it there.
Hmm.
Certainly not for the old knighthood. The only way out was not through. The new knighthood has to meet
Well,
itself first. Yeah.
and it's an archetype, it's an ideal, and part of that ideal in the late Middle Ages also touched on the movement of the troubadours, right? And the
Right.
exaltation of the feminine. I mean, it's like one of the appearances of the Sophianic in Western culture,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? And that's part of it because if you don't have, if you don't have a strong male presence, you have a perverted one, and then the answer to that is a perverted female presence,
Right. Right. Right.
right? Or is a caricature,
Hmm.
right? And so we have kind of the caricature of the whore of Babylon right
Hmm.
now.
Yeah.
And it's disturbing.
It's disturbing. Yeah, that's well said. The Whore of Babylon. We also have a Tower of Babel. You know. Hmm. Excellent conversation.
It's a happy good end.
The whore of Antichrist with the whore of Babylon. I'm gonna thank everybody for listening to the Regeneration Podcast. Thanks for listening to the Regeneration Podcast, friends. We'll talk to you next
Thank you.
week.